Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The Independence Committee has called on St. Lucians to become more involved in the planning of St. Lucia's 40th Independence Anniversary activities. A press conference was held Monday to sensitize the public on the upcoming activities. Solange Alfred reports.
The Department of Culture and the Independence Committee have dubbed the upcoming 40th Independence Anniversary as Independence with a Difference. The committee tasked with planning the event is ensuring its flawless delivery and is putting a call out to the public to play a part in making the celebrations even grander. Chairperson of the Independence Committee, Janine Girardi McIntyre, stated that the year-long celebration starts from December 12, 2018 and will end on December 12, 2019 and will be host to many events.
I want to ask the public, anything that you want to place on our calendar, please feel free to do so. We're not only publicizing what the government is doing, we're also publicizing what private sector people wish to do, but it must have an independence feel. We also want to provide opportunities for maximum economic spin-offs for our vendors, our artists, taxi drivers, hoteliers, anybody that can participate in it, our artists in the whole of Independence for 1 year. So to this end, we'll be creating a calendar of events, and this we will launch in conjunction with the Festival of Lights and Lantern Parade in December.
According to coordinator of the Independence Committee, Buffalo Odlum, activities will be a celebration of the unique St. Lucianness. He also spoke positively about the hard work that the team has been putting in to ensure the coordination of a magnificent celebration for St. Lucia's 40th independence.
Our independence is very important. We have 40 years to celebrate. We have a lot we have achieved in 40 years. So we as said by our chairman, we want to bring in all the artists, we want to bring in all our cultural activists, we want to bring in the public. The private sector is very important. As you see, there's a concentration on young people. We have brought in their ideas and we are still open. So we want to say, St. Lucia, this is time for us to come together. It's a very exciting period. We're going to have a whole year of celebration. We're going to bring our St. Lucianness together. We're going to celebrate our St. Lucianness. So on behalf of the government of St. Lucia and the committee, I would like to say it's a pleasure for us being here. It's a pleasure for us planning these celebrations and look out for us to have a good and very exciting celebration celebrating our 40th anniversary of independence.
Youth leader on the Independence Committee and president of the NYC, Joshurin Andrew, expressed his pleasure with the consideration that the youth were given in the planning and consideration of events for St. Lucia's 40th independence. Andrew spoke of two specific activities geared towards the youth.
The first of those activities being in Youth Parliament, and we are hoping to execute the first sitting of Youth Parliament in February and another one for April, which is designated as Youth Month. We would like to encourage all young persons who are interested in taking part to look out for the auditions, which will be held pretty soon. In addition to that, we would like to just let the young people know that any other ideas that they may have for independence, feel free to reach out to the committee, and we will see how best we can facilitate and assist them in the execution of those activities which they may be passionate or may be required or beneficial for their various communities within St. Lucia. In addition to that, as you would have known, during the 39th celebrations, we attempted to execute an activity dubbed Strides of Unity. However, due to certain circumstances, we were unable to at that point in time. But we are happy to say today that this will be executed for the 40th celebration of independence.
Strides of Unity is an across-the-island youth unity run where the Governor General will hand off a baton that will travel across St. Lucia and eventually return to the residence of the Governor General. Anyone interested in sharing their ideas and feedback on ways to create an exciting 40th independence can contact the committee via email on independenceslew40@gmail.com or via telephone at 468-3917. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
Stop trying to mix religion and politics to suit personal beliefs. That is the message from musician and educator Jason Joseph. When it comes to governance, he argues that human rights should always supersede religious beliefs. He is calling for greater adherence to the separation of church and state. When deeply religious individuals enter the fray of politics, there is either hope or concern that their convictions will determine their positions on issues. For those who share those same values, they are comforted by the fact that their elected officials will likely fight to uphold their shared values. That is the situation with evangelicals and elected conservative officials in the United States of America. St. Lucia has its own notable examples of elected officials who are deeply religious and whose beliefs have in fact influenced their stance on issues. MP Sarah Flood-Bobra back in 2004 broke with her party on the issue of abortion. But what about those who do not share the same values as their religious elected officials? There is a sense of trepidation about what it will mean for their human rights. Educator and musician Jason Batchelor Joseph calls for a clear separation of church and state.
I believe it is important that people separate, for example, the whole idea of human rights versus religious beliefs. And I think in all cases, human rights are supposed to supersede people's personal beliefs.
Governance issues arising from conflict between religious values and human rights are seen the world over. The pro-life and pro-choice debate rages on in many countries. So too does the debate on same-sex marriage and LGBT rights. Joseph argues that religious people cannot try to force their ideals on the general populace.
What you believe is what you believe, that's fine. Nobody wants to take it away from you, but you cannot force somebody else to believe what you believe.
Joseph says he has no issue with religious figures entering politics or giving their opinion on governance issues. His issue is with those who, according to him, act as if they are the voice of God. He perceives many problems with that thinking.
For example, just imagine you have an Adventist person in parliament, whatever, and they feel that it is important for them to enforce their views on the Sabbath. Just to give an example, to enforce it on the general population or in parliament, whatever, or the whole idea that they shouldn't be eating pork or whatever. Those are the issues that we can have when all religious denominations decide to get involved in politics and to influence people based on what they believe personally. I think we can end up going into some dangerous situations.
For Joseph, it all boils down to fairness, equity, and human rights, regardless of a person's religious convictions. The St. Lucia National Trust has expressed gratitude to members who showed up to its recently held AGM. The Trust notes that members remain resolute in their decision against the installment of a dolphinarium off the coast of Pigeon Island. The Trust also took the opportunity to announce the winners of its essay competition.
With the hosting of the 42nd Annual General Meeting, the St. Lucia National Trust is expressing pleasure with the turnout and accomplishments of that meeting. The meeting was held on Saturday, November 24th, at the Finance Administrative Center and showcased a mini exhibition of the Trust's work. Communications and Advocacy Officer Coretta Crooks Charles explains that the meeting provided an opportunity for members to get a glimpse of the Trust's work and also a chance to elect councillors to guide the dealings of the Trust.
The Trust is very pleased with the results of its AGM. We had about 150 members and non-members as well as staff and other invited guests at Saturday's meeting. Many things were done for discussion. We were unable to provide an update on the proposed dolphinarium. Nonetheless, the members were still passionate about their decision for us to do everything within our powers to prevent such a project to come to St. Lucia. Also on the table was the removal of the trust subvention. They were still very passionate about that, and they expressed their concern about the need for this to be reinstated. We have the elections of councillors. Most of the councillors were re-elected. Only 2 new councillors that were nominated and selected were Mr. Vincent Clark, also known as Jeg, from Beaufort, and Mr. Kirk Elliott. The other councillors remain. They are Alison King, Dr. Christine Paris, Sean Compton, Calix George Jr., and Nadia Kazumba. So it was an exciting AGM. We had a cultural presentation. We had exhibition. The Castries Fire exhibition was remounted. We had artisans and crafters from Choiseul and Vieux-Fort showing off their items. We had local books on sale and the local videos as well. And we're just pleased that persons turned out, and we're hoping that more St. Lucians who are not yet members of the Trust will find out more about the Trust and join the organization as we seek to conserve St. Lucia's heritage.
The winners of the Trust's Dolphinarium essay competition were also revealed at the AGM. The competition was geared towards helping students research the impacts, both negative and positive, that a dolphinarium could have on its surroundings. The 15 entrants were all awarded in some form.
We had the prize giving for our recently held dolphin essay competition. We had a total of 15 persons who participated, 5 primary and 10 secondary, and the winners got amazing prizes from Digicel, Taxi, and Captain Mike's Whale and Dolphin Watching Tours. All 15 participants also got a family membership for 1 year to the National Trust, and there are also other tokens from Cream and Beans. And I'd just like to mention the winners. For the primary school, we have Shane Edgar. He's in grade 5 from the Camille Henry Memorial School. Second place for primary school went to Layla Phillip of the SDA Primary School. And third place, also from that school, is Pearl Cornibert. For the secondary school, we have Dale J.K. Elliott from the St. Joseph's Convent. And second place went to Mendel Nathaniel, while third place went to Shade Gustav, also of the St. Joseph's Convent. So we are happy that persons enter this competition, and you also had a few persons who were for the project. So we opened it to persons who wanted to write either for or against the Dolphin project, because we wanted to see what the students were thinking and how we need to change their minds for them to understand the negative implication that such a project would have.
The St. Lucia National Trust remains resolute in protecting the heritage of St. Lucia through conservation efforts. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
As part of St. Lucia's Business Month, the St. Lucia Coalition of Service Industries will be hosting a 5-day workshop geared towards developing the strength of industry professionals. More in this report.
Professionals in the music industry have the chance to receive developmental training from industry professionals who have solidified their place in the music industry, with the likes of Vivian Barkley, Chris Cook, Jeremy Harding, and Carla Paris. Executive Director of the St. Lucia Coalition of Service Industries, Yvonne Agard, believes that these interactions will have a lasting positive effect for participating OACS music industry professionals.
We're having for the week a series of developmental workshops is to assist the musicians to understand the business side of music. And so we have a series of facilitators. So for today and tomorrow we have Jeremy Harding out of Jamaica. He's going to be discussing the access to international markets. On Wednesday we will have Carla Paris out of Trinidad. She's an attorney, entertainment attorney, and she will be discussing and talking about negotiating and managing contracts. Thursday we have Chris, who will be speaking generally on the business of music. And on Friday we have Vivian, who's going to be discussing women in music. And so these series of workshops should be able to assist our business practitioners in better monetizing their trade. This program it was complemented by an online training program, Business of Music. So they are here from, of course, the rest of the OECS countries, British Virgin Islands, St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Dominica. And so these persons, before getting here, they had done a 1-month program, online program. So they've qualified for this face-to-face workshop.
The event will host more than 45 producers, writers, musicians, and managers who will take advantage of this unique opportunity to network and learn how to create additional streams of revenue through their passion.
I think it should be very impactful. It has been very interactive so far. They have a lot of questions that they are asking. And so hopefully at the end of the 2 days with Jeremy, a lot of the issues in terms of access international market will be clarified.
The program was piloted by the SLCSI and is endorsed by the Cultural Development Foundation, Export St. Lucia, and Eastern Caribbean Collective Organization for Music Rights. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solej Alfred.
You're watching the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. We have more news coming up after the break.